So yesterday, CNN did this climate change forum. They had back-to-back town halls. I think it went 7 hours in total. Each candidate or many of the candidates, I don't have the full list of who even participated in front of me. As I mentioned, I just dipped in and out of a few minutes here or there and then read a summary. The idea was let's go deep. Let's go deep with each candidate on climate change. And one issue that keeps coming up time and again, and Elizabeth Warren handled it really well, is this topic of plastic straws and light bulbs. And plastic straws and light bulbs are a bogus distraction to the broader systemic changes that need to happen in order to really deal with the climate crisis. So there's a really good analogy here, and it's undocumented immigration and wages. This has been waged effectively by huge corporations. Huge corporations really are what keep wages down. Huge corporations take advantage of undocumented immigrant labor who is less likely to push back against bad working conditions because they know they're undocumented and they know that they risk, if they start reporting things and getting on law enforcement's radar, they risk deportation. So it is really corporations that have to be blamed for perpetuating and even encouraging the status quo around immigration. But corporations have done something genius. They have fomented the idea that the middle class in America and the lower middle class, blue collar workers, they need to be at odds with Latin American immigrants. They, by fighting with each other, are lowering wages and blah, 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 blah. And it has worked brilliantly because very infrequently do you seriously hear the corporate responsibility addressed when it comes to keeping wages. You've got workers fighting workers, and that's exactly what corporations want. Apply that to climate change. The building industry, the electric power industry, and the oil industry are some of the biggest polluters and biggest sources of fossil fuel emissions. And yet they, through corporate PR campaigns, have brilliantly put the focus on, have you switched off of plastic straws to the paper straws or compostable potato starch straws or whatever? Have you replaced all of your light bulbs with the CFLs, which last however long it is or whatever? And Elizabeth Warren was asked about this during her climate change town hall on CNN, and she brilliantly called it out.
But do you think that the government should be in the business of telling you what kind of light bulb you can have?
Oh, come on, give me a break. You know,
Is that
look,
a yes?
No, look, there are a lot of ways that we try to change our energy consumption and our pollution. And God bless all of those ways. Some of it is with light bulbs, some of it is on straws, some of it, dang, is on cheeseburgers, right? There are a lot of different pieces to this, and I get that people are trying to find the part that they can work on and what can they do, and I'm in favor of that, and I'm going to help, and I'm going to support. But understand, this is exactly what the fossil fuel industry hopes we're all talking about. That's what they want us to talk about. This is your problem. They want to be able to stir up a lot of controversy around your light bulbs, around your straws, and around your cheeseburgers. When 70% of the pollution, of the carbon that we're throwing into the air comes from 3 industries, and we can set our targets and say by 2028, 2030, and 2035, no more. Think about that right there. Now, the other 30%, we still got to work on.
This is the answer. We can't let these bad actors do the sense making, to borrow a term from earlier in the show. Something like 100 companies are responsible for 71% of global emissions. Framing is extremely important. When you look at the discussion of Medicare for all, we talk about the economic benefits. We talk about the emotional, psychological benefits of not having to worry about if I get treatment or if I get sick, am I going to go bankrupt? There's all these intangible benefits to something that is affordable. We've seen it time and again. It is affordable. But you will hear this concern trolling of, but if we do Medicare for all, some people will lose jobs. Medical coders and insurance fraud investigators and medical billing people, those are jobs that should not have existed in the first place. I've addressed this issue already. Anytime government does anything, there is a job impact. Even policies that create 10,000 jobs might simultaneously destroy 500, meaning that the net benefit is only 9,500 jobs. It's a red herring, okay? It is the idea of putting pressure on people to fight against each other for the benefit of corporations. And we can't be distracted by this stuff. Fuel efficiency of cars is another one. Listen, if you can go from cars on average getting 10 miles per gallon to 60 miles per gallon, I'm not pretending that that's not going to have an impact. But when you look at vehicles versus cargo ships and aviation and all of this other stuff, it is again pressuring the consumer to believe that they are the ones who need to solve the problem by not using a plastic straw or by getting a hybrid vehicle or for whatever the case may be. And the whole point of it is prevent demand for corporate action. And the way to do that is prevent demand for government regulation of corporations, which is the answer. I mean, that is the answer. And that's where we need to be looking. That's why the narrative and agenda setting power of corporate media is so important. And we can't let them do it. Good for Elizabeth Warren for shutting it down.